Hi guys, my name is Wesley De Klerk. I am currently guiding for FlyCastaway on Providence Atoll, and today I'm going to take you through a furled leader which we use extensively on the flats, mainly for targeting bumpies, triggers, milkfish, bones and permit. Essentially what we're trying to achieve is a leader that's going to give you as much abrasive resistance against coral, edges of turtle grass, as well as a bit of shock when it comes to picking up big fish. It just all helps and adds to the success in landing some of these big fish. For the sake of this video, I've tied a furled leader using 110 pound, and that's purely just to show you what we're after and what it looks like. Essentially, it's a tapered effect going from a 4-strand all the way down to a 2-strand, and then finishing up on your single strand line that eventually runs where your fly is tied, as you can see there. And if you look at why we do it and the use of it, is the shock absorption on this leader is quite excessive, and if I pull it like that, you'll see I'll get probably about 2 inches of shock just on that section, and you can see as it goes under tension, the whole leader actually twists and acts as a shock absorber with the leader. So that's basically tied with 110 pound, but I'm going to show you how to start it off with. On 25 pound, we're using 25 pound Seagar, which is a fluorocarbon. The big thing with these leaders is try and get the consistencies right. So it's measuring the length of line and how much line you're going to have on your single strand down to your fly. You still want enough line that you don't have too much of the double strand or the 4-strand coming down onto the leader. So what we do is we separate it into 2 strands, probably give ourselves about a full arm length, which is probably about 1.8 meters doubled up. And how we start it off is that you just double it up, get your loop, and then you just put your finger through and twist it about 5 or 6 times. Once you've done that, the big thing is to separate out the 2 lines completely separate from each other. And the reason why we do that is because as we're twisting the line, if they're close together, it will all twist up into one single bunch. So we separate the lines out, one on either side. Often what I do is I put one over the back of my shoulder and the other one in front. As you can see, there's the start of your twist, and that would be your loop that will attach to your fly line on a loop to loop setup. And once we've got the ferrule, then you start by using your index finger and your thumb, and you're just basically twisting all the way down. So you can see how it twists up, and then you get that sort of effect, and you just carry on doing that until you get to the end of your tag end. And I'm just going to quickly do this. And you know you're doing it right, that when you twist it, you get the doubled up effect, and then if you leave it, it doesn't untwist. That's essential. And you carry on twisting it all the way down. It does take time, but it's worth every minute when you're out on the flats. It just gives you that added advantage to landing some of these bigger fish. It's important to get these twists as tight as you possibly can. So if you'll see how I hold it on my left finger, it's almost at 180 degrees between the 2 lines. So I hold those 2 lines in my index finger, and I just continue to twist and move the line through that joint all the way through. Okay, and as you can see, we're starting to approach the tag end now. Often you'll see that the line actually starts to curl up, and what I'm doing is as you twist, you just straighten up the line, get all the twists out, and then continue to do it. If you find that it's not sort of laying really nice and tight, then all you do is you just separate it out, hold it in your fingers, and then just pull it, and that will eventually create those 2 lines to come really nice and tight together, and then you just continue from there. Right, I'm just going to cut the tag end off here because I think we've got enough. Okay, so there you can see there's your double furled all the way down, and that goes onto your single line, and that will be eventually tied onto your fly at the end there. Now the big thing is here is you can use a perfection loop to finish this side off. I personally don't like to use a perfection because I find that it pulls back on itself. So I like to use a double overhand, or a double figure of 8. So essentially you just make 2 loops like that. You feed that from the back end of those 2 loops and you get that, and then you just fold it out to create your figure of 8. And as you pull it tight, you'll see there that it goes into a figure of 8 shape. And then it's a matter of just tightening it evenly. And it's important when locking off that knot to make sure that that line really comes and condenses nice and neatly. If it's not neat, you know, there's a lot of resistance, especially if you're fishing areas where there's a lot of current. Any sort of double knot will create too much resistance and cause that fly to move faster than what it should. So you'll see, I'll just give it a bit of moisture and tie the 2 together, and then just pull it really nice and tight, and that's your finish in there. And then what we'll do is we'll just cut that tag end off. Right, now this will be usable as is. So essentially it's a double ferrule there all the way to your loop, and you can quite easily just loop to loop that onto your fly line and then tie your fly on to the single strand over here. But for a tapered effect, what I like to do is I like to then double that back again. So now you're going from 2 strands to 4 strands, and then it will taper down from 4 to 2 to 1 at the end. And exactly the same as we started off the furl on the previous one. Make it up, make a loop, put your finger through, twist it a couple of times so you get that effect there. Separate the 2 out, and then it's a matter of just twisting it all the way down. Once again, keep these twists nice and tight all the way through. Right, there I've come to the tag end over there. Hold it nice and tight, double overhand. There we go, right through the back. Pull it through, flip it over, and then just pull it nice and evenly. Add a bit of moisture just so it locks nicely. Just pull it nice and tight. And then you can see it makes quite a nice, neat, low profile knot with the tag end stretching out over there. Now the joy about this type of leader is that essentially it's one piece of mono all the way through. So it goes from 4 strands that will be looped onto your fly line. Okay, so it also distributes the pressure over your fly line, and it doesn't end up meaning that your fly line will cut through, or your leader will cut through your fly line. And then it goes from 4, your nice neat knot, to 2, nice neat knot, then onto your single strand, which will then be tied onto your fly. And this also helps for casting, so essentially it becomes a tapered leader, and it just transfers the energy through your fly line, from your fly line through your leader to present the fly and turn the fly over nice and neatly. And then once again, just to show you for demonstration purposes how much stretch you actually get in this leader. So there it's pretty tight, and then I'll just pull it, and you can see I get substantially more stretch in that line. You can actually see when you pull it, and if you've got it right, the knots that we've tied it actually end up spinning, but it will always come back to the point that you've tied it off. So just to show you again, you watch the knot and you pull it, you see how it spins. The minute I release pressure, it comes back into the position that it was before. And that's basically a furled leader in a nutshell. We use it, like I say, extensively in Seychelles. It really has been a game changer for us. And we use it for all the species, from bonefish to triggers to bumpies to permit to milkfish. Once again, it creates a tapered effect and also helps you with abrasive resistance against coral, etc., etc. And you can imagine that your 4 strands up against a piece of coral will stand you in much better stead than a single strand all the way through. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. We hope that this is a helpful tip and that you can incorporate that into your fishing in the flats in the future. Please subscribe to these videos and keep watching for helpful tips. Thank you very much.